Tessa Quinn stood outside the elegant restaurant, her palms clammy as she held her 3-year-old son's tiny hand. Little Oliver wore his favorite Batman shirt, his soft curls still damp from the bath she'd given him earlier. She had tried explaining that Mommy had an important dinner tonight, but Oliver had clung to her leg and cried until she couldn't take it anymore. To make things worse, her babysitter had canceled at the last moment. Stomach bug. The text had read. Now she had no one else to call. Her mother lived 3 states away, and she hadn't made close friends in the city yet. Tonight was supposed to be her first real date in months, arranged through a dating app. Dinner at 7 p.m. with Landon Hayes, a 42-year-old CEO whose messages had been thoughtful and kind. But with Oliver in tow, she knew the night was ruined. She pulled out her phone and typed a message. "I'm so sorry, Landon. My babysitter just canceled. I'll have to reschedule. I really apologize for the short notice." She hit send and sighed, ready to turn around, when her phone rang. "Hello?" She answered nervously. "Tessa, it's Landon. I just got your text. Where are you?" "I'm outside the restaurant," she said softly. "But I really should go home. My babysitter canceled." "And are you with your son?" he asked, his tone calm and understanding. "Yes," she admitted, embarrassed. "I know this is totally inappropriate for a first date, but—" "Bring him in," Landon interrupted gently. "What?" She blinked. "Bring your son inside. We'll have dinner together, all 3 of us. I already have the table ready." "Landon, I can't. This was supposed to be a date, not a family dinner." "Then let's call it a friendly dinner," he said warmly. "I'm already here, and honestly, I'd love to meet the little guy you talk about so fondly in your messages, but only if you're comfortable, of course." Tessa looked down at Oliver, who was studying a leaf on the sidewalk. She thought about her quiet apartment, the frozen pizza waiting in her freezer, the loneliness that had followed her since Oliver's father left 2 years ago. "Okay," she finally said. "We'll come in. But fair warning, he's 3, and he's not exactly fine dining material." Landon chuckled. "Neither was I at 3. Come on in, I'll have them set another place." Taking a deep breath, she held Oliver's hand and stepped into the restaurant. Warm light glowed across white tablecloths as softly spoken guests dined elegantly. Tessa instantly felt out of place in her jeans and t-shirt beside her son in a Batman shirt. The host's raised eyebrow made her shrink until a tall man rose from a corner table and waved. Landon Hayes looked even better than his pictures. Dark hair neatly styled, a navy suit that probably cost more than her rent. But when he approached, he immediately knelt to Oliver's level. "Hey there," he said kindly. "I'm Landon. What's your name?" Oliver studied him seriously. "I'm Oliver. I'm 3. I like Batman." "Batman's awesome," Landon replied. "Do you know his superpower?" Oliver shook his head. "He doesn't have one. He's just brave enough to help people. That means anyone can be a hero if they try." Oliver's face lit up. "So I can be Batman?" "Absolutely," Landon said with a grin. Then he stood and extended a hand to Tessa. "And you must be Tessa. It's wonderful to finally meet you." Tessa smiled, blinking away sudden tears. "I'm sorry this isn't what you planned." "This is exactly what I planned," he said gently, guiding them to the table. "You said being a mom is the most important part of your life. I respect that. Meeting Oliver means meeting the biggest part of your world." A server appeared with a booster seat and crayons Landon had called ahead. Oliver happily began coloring while Tessa stared at him in disbelief. "Why are you being so kind about this?" she whispered. "Most men would have walked away." Landon paused. "There's something not in my dating profile," he said quietly. "I have a daughter, Sophia. She's 8. I haven't seen her in 3 years." Tessa's heart ached. "What happened?" "Messy divorce," he said. "Her mother moved to Australia. I travel a lot for work. The court gave her full custody. I get video calls twice a month. That's it." "I'm so sorry," she murmured. He smiled faintly. "That's why I'm not upset you brought Oliver. Every time I see a parent with their child, I feel the ache of missing mine. You didn't ruin this night, Tessa. You reminded me what love really looks like. Tears filled her eyes. Most people treat single mothers like we're baggage. Your son isn't baggage, Landon said firmly. He's a blessing. Anyone who doesn't see that doesn't deserve you. Oliver looked up. Mommy's crying. Did you make her sad? Tessa laughed softly. No, sweetie. These are happy tears. Dinner was unlike any date she'd ever had. They spoke about real things, parenting, guilt, loneliness. Landon ordered food Oliver might like and even helped him color. When Oliver got restless, Landon showed him photos of Sophia. She's pretty, Oliver said. Does she like Batman too? She's more into Wonder Woman, Landon chuckled. But I think she'd love to meet you someday. After dinner, Oliver grew sleepy and held up his arms. Before Tessa could lift him, Landon asked, May I? He hoisted Oliver onto his shoulders, making the boy giggle. I'm so tall now. Look, Mommy, I'm a giant. Tessa laughed, the kind of laugh she hadn't felt in years. At her car, she turned to him. Thank you for tonight for understanding. Tessa, Landon said softly, you didn't ruin anything. You gave me something I've missed, a family moment. You and Oliver reminded me what being a father feels like. And I'd like to see you again. Both of you. They did. 3 times a week. Sometimes just Tessa and Landon. Sometimes all 3 together at parks, cafes, museums. He never complained when Oliver came along. This is a real date, he said one night, watching Oliver sleep between them during a movie. Because this is real life. 6 months later, Landon got news. His ex-wife's marriage had ended. She wanted to move back to the U.S. and offer shared custody. She saw the photos of me with you and Oliver, Landon told Tessa. She said I've changed, that I'm not the absent father I used to be. Tessa hugged him, tears in her eyes. That's amazing. It's because of you, he said. You let me love a child again, and it healed something inside me. When Sophia finally came to visit, she was shy, but Oliver ran up to her, Batman toy in hand. Want to play? I'll show you how to build towers. Sophia smiled for the first time. I love building towers. A year later, Landon proposed in Tessa's living room, with both kids watching. Oliver wore his Batman shirt under his suit, and Sophia read a short speech about gaining a little brother. At their wedding, they vowed not just to love each other, but to love their kids equally, as one family. You thought bringing Oliver to our first date would scare me, Landon said during his vows. But it gave me back my heart and my daughter. Years later, Tessa would tell their story often, about a canceled babysitter, a Batman shirt, and a man who said, bring him in. She'd say that the right person never asks you to hide the most important parts of your life. They embrace them. Love isn't just between 2 people. It's the family they choose to build together.